This is Rick with Flow Texas. We've spoken before about how to do tank placement on the trailer. Now we're going to go through and talk about how to actually install the tank. All right, so once your tank's in position, and you verify it by looking at distance from the walls. This one is 18 inches off each edge. You can go to the front of the trailer, back of the trailer, but just make sure it's square in position. Then come in and mark the center of the hole just off of the plastic, because your J-bolt is going to go through here, and that's what holds the tank from sliding front to back. As you can see, this one ends up right on a crack between two pieces of wood, which is why we use large plates on the bottom to hold these, because that way you distribute the weight. If the wood starts to weather, you can't pull a washer through. These will not come through the wood until the wood's completely gone. So this will go on the bottom to hold it. Then around the side, these will go in place on every corner, and that keeps the tank from sliding side to side. The J-bolts and the straps keep from sliding front to back. Our J-bolt is going to go like this. You want the J-bolt, the long side, to be against the plastic. If it's this way, it can rub a hole in the plastic. You don't want to damage your tank. So this way, it'll distribute the load across the whole length of the J-bolt. So we're getting ready. We've shifted the tank out of the way. We're getting ready to drill. We use 3/8 bolts on everything. They're more than adequate. Most of the J-bolts are 3/8. So our drill bit we use is either a 7/16 or a half. That gives you a little bit of play, makes it a little bit easier. We're now under the trailer, and this is one of the J-bolts hanging through the deck that we put in from above. These are the two other bolts on that little side piece that holds the tank from sliding side to side. These will get a 3/8 washer, a 3/8 regular nut, and then a 3/8 nylock to hold it in place. You don't want things to vibrate loose underneath the trailer, so you put a nylock on these. On these, what you do is you put on the plate. This particular plate has two holes. If this bolt were closer to a cross member like this, the second hole allows you to put this close to a cross member if that's where your bolt ends up. We use the center one if we can, just because it gives better distribution of load around the whole washer. So this goes on, then a regular washer, just a standard flat washer, and then a standard regular nut. This will spin up. We'll put this in place enough to start the strap on top and put this in place. Then we'll tighten these up until the strap is tight. And when we're finished, we'll then put on a nylock on the end of this and run it up tight against the nut. And that way the nylock will keep this nut from ever spinning down. Trying to use a lock washer or any other kind of attachment thing here doesn't work, because everything vibrates on a trailer and the tank moves, and when it does, it can allow that standard lock washer to come loose, and then your nut spins off. Okay, so now we bring the strap over, hook into the J-bolt that has the washer on the back side. It's already through the deck. Pull it up like this. We're going to flip it over the top of the tank and then go around the other side of the tank to put the J-bolt through the floor and attach this. All right, so now we put the J-bolt through the strap, and then this will go through the deck. This is where your second helper comes in, because they'll hold this down while you go underneath the trailer and run the nuts on the other side. Okay, we now have all of our bolts in place for this side of this corner of the tank. So these are the two bolts for our tank stabilizer, both nylocks and washers. This is our plate for distributing load, a regular nut here, nylock here, and everything's tight. The strap is tight. We're ready to go. So this is the front side of the tank. As you can see, the brackets are in place. The J-bolts are tightened and in place, and the tank is pretty much ready to go.